Bitcoin is directly correlated with the stock market. The stock market is inversely correlated with interest rates. As interest rates rise, stocks go down. As stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. When Bitcoin goes down, most other cryptocurrencies go down as well. The first time Bitcoin dropped from 65K to 17.5, Hex went up 30x. The second time Bitcoin dropped, Hex went down with it. Now, I think that's because we have some other cyclical things that were going on, and it's just kind of bad timing that they aligned. You know, you can't do a 30x when something else drops in price half. That's a 60x better performance unless you're decorrelated. Right. But, you know, now it appears correlated. So it's like, as long as they're raising interest rates, stocks will go down, consumer spending will go down, especially luxury goods. I called the Rolex. I've got $10 million of watches. This is $1 million Rolex Daytona Rainbow. You know, I called the top on the day. So this was $1 million watch. Still is $1 million watch, but if you really bargain hunt it, you can get this for $850 right now. Here's the thing that people don't understand. If the investment that you have drops 20%, but all the stuff that you want to buy drops 20%, you broke even. If the investment that you had went up 20%, but all the stuff you want to buy went up 20%, you broke even. And so it really matters is the ratio of what you're holding versus the stuff that you want to buy. And so when I see figures come out of the government, you know, a funny quote is that figures don't lie, but liars figure. I don't believe their statistics. I don't think inflation is as low as they've been saying it is. And I don't really care about this, you know, GDP growth or not growth. It's too weird and too wide. And how does that affect me? I care about Ferrari prices, Rolex prices. You know, I don't know what a gallon of milk costs. I'm too rich to care anymore. But I care about what luxury goods cost. And I care about what crypto costs. Because, you know, people talk about stocks. I mean, look, Ethereum went up like 16 or 17% today. Hex is up 20% on the week. Why would anyone care about stocks when you've got the gains available in cryptocurrency, the best performing asset class that's ever existed that can put you truly in charge of your money with no middlemen, no counterparty risk? Now, a lot of people don't use it that way. They give their keys to someone else, so I beg them not to. So, you know, whenever people ask me about like, oh, should I mortgage or rent? I'm like, who cares? Crypto, rent, crypto, like, because the bottom will be found. Eventually they will, after they've raised rates for long enough, eventually they'll start printing money again. And when they do, all the risk on assets are going to shoot right up and crypto is going to shoot up the hardest. As far as drops go, people screw this up all the time in crypto and it drives me wild. They hide. Remember how I said figures don't lie, but liars figure? Here's this misleading garbage that I see from the media and the idiots in the cryptocurrency space constantly. They talk about the drops, okay? Bitcoin dropped 75, Ethereum dropped 85, Hex dropped 95. Cool, great. To any new person, that sounds like a terrible investment. But wait a second, how much are they up? Well, I don't know. When I was mining Bitcoin, they were 50 cents. When I bought Bitcoin, it was $30. Well, now they're $22,000. But what about that 85% drop? Well, you see, let's take a 90% drop. A 90% drop only cancels out a 10x. So if you go up 10x and drop 90%, you're back where you started. Well, Hex went up 10,000x. And so if it drops 90%, it only cancels out 10x. It did a 10,000x. Bitcoin did a 690,000x. Ethereum did a 14,000x. Bitcoin is now roughly the same price that it was 5 years ago. So you could have bought Bitcoin for $20,000 in 2017 at the end, which is basically 2018. Or you could buy it for 22K today. Or a week ago, you could have bought it for 20K. So you waited 5 years for the same price. Same with gold. Gold's the same. Gold's cheaper now than it was 10 years ago. So with gold, you got wrecked. With Bitcoin, you got wrecked if you bought the previous tops on either of those things. If you look at a longer time horizon, why would you care about an 85% dip and not look at it as an opportunity when these things go up thousands, hundreds, tens of X? So like, yes, Bitcoin has dropped 85% 3 or 4 or 5 times, but it went up 690 million %.
Right.
And so people always leave out the how far up, even Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin is bad technology. It's just a meme. It was literally invented as a joke in an afternoon, literally. And you're still up massively compared to Bitcoin. Even after it dropped 85%, You're like, but people are too stupid to zoom out and go back and look at the history. You can only get 13 Ethereum for Bitcoin now, by the way. You used to get 2,000. So a lot of these large entities in Bitcoin are true scumbags. So for instance, when I told you that Grayscale holds 3% of all the Bitcoin, that's the opposite of what Bitcoin was invented. That is a centralized counterparty that can choose to just not pay you. And then there's a website that tracks all these like industrial entities that bought big Bitcoin bags, and they have 7% of the total. So like Mt. Gox holds 141,000 Bitcoin. What's the only thing they can do with them? Sell them or give them to other people that will probably sell them. That's it. How did they get those? Through fraud. The guy ran a fraudulent fractional reserve exchange that got hacked and had huge errors. And then, so he's got 140K. The guy already dumped, he used to have 280. He already dumped half of it. So that guy was dumping back when Bitcoin was 10K. He was helping push the price down to 3K in 2018. Who else has lots of Bitcoin? Oh, the Bitfinex hacker. He had 70,000 Bitcoin. And now the United States Department of Justice is trying to sell them, apparently, instead of giving them back to Bitfinex where they came from. Because, hey, I don't know, maybe the DOJ doesn't like crypto, I don't know. And then who else has a bunch? Ross Ulbricht of the Silk Road fame. Don't even know how many of the government seized from him, but they want to sell his stack too. And so you have all these giant, now, by the way, when I say 70,000 Bitcoin, do you know how much money that is? Let me do that math real quick. 70,000 times 22,000. That's $1.5 billion. So the Bitfinex hacker was sitting on $1.5 billion. The Mt. Gox people are sitting on $3 billion. And these are all going to hit the market. And if they don't hit the market, they'll go to individuals that may hit the market with them. This is all very bad for Bitcoin. You believe in supply and demand. This is a lot of extra supply. As far as prices go, they will eventually stop raising rates. When they do that, it's going to let all the risk on assets start going up. Crypto will go up the most. 10K would have been the bottom with a 65K top. That would have been an 85% dump. But since we went up another 6%, that moves the bottom up, I believe 6% to 10,350. I say 11K because it's just easier to hit and people like to front run my calls. And so it's just easier and safer to hit it. But really, because the dollars are for the first time becoming more valuable. I mean, you see the DXY at 20-year all-time highs. Right. So the dollar is at 20-year all-time highs versus all the other fiat currencies. And then, you know, isn't that weird that if you thought that the dollar sucked because everything got more expensive, imagine holding one of those other fiat currencies. The euro just a week ago was worth less than the dollar. 15 years ago, it was 1.4 to the dollar. So the euro has lost it's lost a third of its value versus the dollar, which is the same thing as the dollar gaining about 50% versus the euro. So if you were going to take your dollars and then buy European real estate, it's on sale, guys. Everything in Europe's on sale.